build yourself up, budget, know your industry, most definitely get certified. That education component is important. Join an association like RISA, having that support of other women and men who are in this industry that can answer those hard questions you may have along the way is very important. And being realistic.
Hey friends, welcome to the Creative Business Mindset. This is your backstage pass to the realities of turning your passion into profit. My name is Joké. I'll be your host. I'm a busy mom of 3, navigating the twists and turns of life and business. You'll get the good, the bad, and the glorious mess of starting afraid, the determination to keep going no matter what. Everyone knows you for that one thing. You know what I'm talking about. It's the thing that comes so naturally to you that you're happy to do it for free. That was me until I made 6 figures in my first year as a home stager. I've made so many mistakes so you don't have to. If this Nigerian girl can do it, you, my friend, can do it too. Let's go. Today, I am thrilled to welcome a guest who is making waves in the home staging and design industry, the lovely Kishah Langham. Kishah is the founder of Texas Stagers, and her journey into the world of staging began entirely in a different space, literally as the first African-American woman to own a bed and breakfast in Wisconsin. For over 15 years, Kishah mastered the art of creating warm, inviting spaces that tell a story for her guests. Now based in Texas, Kishah has taken her passion for transforming spaces to newer heights with Texas Stagers. She's also Texas State President for Real Estate Staging Association, where she's not only a leader but a visionary, constantly pushing the boundary and the industry forward. I can't wait for you all to meet the amazing Kishah and her incredible journey and the exciting new projects she's bringing to life. Kishah, I called, you answered, so thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Awesome. I've told the story from my own perspective. Now tell our viewers, who is Kishah?
Well, now I'm a property stager, but most importantly, I'm a mom, a grandmother, wife. So family is pretty big for me, and they're the reason that I do what I do. I want to leave a legacy behind.
Back it up a moment. Grandma, are you?
I have 6 beautiful children. So
amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, so from bread and breakfast to Texas Stagers, what was it like transitioning from running a bed and breakfast to now a home staging business?
There are so many similarities. One and foremost is interaction with people, being able to connect with people, communicating, and doing business. 15 years of running that sort of business was very easy for me to transition over because how the house looked was very important, but all the things that I had to do behind the scenes, booking with clients, talking to Expedia, Travelocity, all of those entities. So it was a very good transition to come over into staging.
Nice. I can just imagine. How long have you had Texas Stagers?
I've actually been staging for over 10 years, but okay. I've had this Texas Stagers for almost 3 years now.
So what were you doing in staging before? It was a different company?
No, actually, when I was in the bed and breakfast, I was actually a real estate investor as well. So I would stage all of my properties prior to them being listed. So, well, back then we didn't call it staging. There was no name for it. You just got in there and did it on your own. Yeah, there was no one to call and get the property ready. So I did it. I enjoyed designing. That was basically how I started, with designing my bed and breakfast, each of the rooms, which were 7 rooms. So I was constantly doing that. So to migrate over to staging was a no-brainer.
Yeah, that sounds like a natural path. And I would say, since you started like 10 years ago, what changes have you seen in the industry and just in trends in general that are intriguing to you?
Oh, most definitely seeing designers transition into staging and merging those two elements together, bringing in colors, the outside, inside. I love to see that. Getting out of the basic, everyday beige and neutral colors, getting more vibrant. So I see that. People want to see themselves in this home. So we need to make that more realistic as stagers.
I hear you. So by bringing in bolder colors and not just making it all vanilla and neutral.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We most definitely are living in color over here.
Cool. So I'm going to go back to your story of running a bed and breakfast. I was going to say Airbnb because that's what it is this
Today, right? Yeah.
It used to be bed and breakfast. That's what it was. And, I come from Nigeria and I come from a culture that was totally different. And I feel like I came here blissfully ignorant. I can imagine being an African American woman 15 years ago, even starting a business. You must have had to surmount some challenges and barriers. And I talk about myself as coming with blissful ignorance because I was not fully aware that there are barriers, but you lived through that. And I want to get from your experience some of the challenges that you had to face in setting up that business as a woman, first of all, and then a woman of color, and how you rose above those challenges. Because I'm sure there are people looking at you right now from the outside and wondering, how did she do all of that? What tools would you hand over to somebody else that wants to do that?
Most definitely, there's a lot of roadblocks in this industry and many other industries. You do see a lack of people of color. So just creating that environment of other women that not only look like me, but are on the same professional path as me. So that was very important to me. Mentoring other women, speaking life into them. I have that for myself with my family, my friends. We speak life into each other. So when I'm mentoring other women of color in this industry, I do the same. I create situations where I can open those doors, help them get to the resources that they need, which are the realtors. So that's very important. Once you take that certification class, you're thrown out into the real world, and a lot of them aren't taught some of the steps that they need to connect to those realtors. A lot of times we're paying our way to get in front of those realtors, and I don't think that's necessary. There's other ways that we can get to the realtors and get to the business. So creating a mentorship, creating an environment where you have people that support that, realtors, investors, you have your clients, which can not only be realtors, they can be just a person who's a family that's looking to sell them their homes. And then that spreads word of mouth, who you are and what type of work you do.
So, what kind of ways would you say somebody is looking for? How do I break into that? And how do I find clients? You're saying like access to the realtors. What do you do to get access to realtors that you can lead somebody else on that path to? What advice would you give them on how to do that?
Yeah, I have two ways. One is most definitely teaching the staging to sell, what every agent should know.
Okay.
That's pretty big for me. That's my number one marketing tool right there. The other part of that is I form relationships while I'm out networking. You cannot do this by yourself. You need to be out networking, meeting other people outside of realtors. And so, what I do is I have a sponsorship and I have my people come in, and that allows not only for me to gain business, but them as well. So, it has to be a give and take. It can't always be you're getting. So because of that, it's opened the doors for so many people to have opportunity, from movers to insurance agents, realtors, painters, you name it. Because at some point, we're all going to cross each other. So why not cross each other in networking and supporting each other?
Okay. Yeah. So what kind of networking events do you attend or sponsor? Because we just wrapped up a sponsorship event here in Seattle. We are part of the Realtors affiliate, which I think you are as well for Texas. We are part of the affiliate member. And I hear this from the NAR as well, our local office. I hear that, oh, you're the only one who comes to this event. You're the only one who sponsors this event, but it's open to anyone and everyone. And what we're talking about is National Association of Realtors. They have an affiliate membership that anyone who services the industry can and should be a member, because there's so many benefits. Not only do you get to be in front of realtors and people that you want to work with, when you are able to get out in front of people and network and just talk to humans, it gets you out of that corner of yours, and suddenly you are exposed to so much more beyond just getting their business, but just the interaction. And I don't know why a lot more homestagers are not taking advantage of that, because that's a huge deal, right?
Yeah, it is most definitely. I think we see so much of, oh, how do I get to the real estate office and bring breakfast and bring gifts to them? You don't have to do that. It's very costly and you're starting your business off. I think teaching people where to invest those marketing dollars is very important. Networking, a lot of times it's free events. They're right on Eventbrite, they're right on your community newspapers. Get out and meet these people. That's a no brainer. And a lot of times, I'm going to be honest with you, I am the only stager in the room. And so that speaks volumes. Why aren't they there? Why are we being taught to just go to the real estate office, pay a fee to talk for 3, 5 minutes and not being guaranteed business? It doesn't make sense to me.
I agree. And I think it's just the culture of everybody just wants to hide behind their computer and send that email and hope somebody responds, and send that text message and post that Instagram post. But it goes way beyond, we're building that no like trust factor, which takes a while. And it takes being in front of somebody, it takes picking up the phone, it takes getting out there. Nothing happens behind the computer. A lot of deals are closed in one-on-one relationships and just people. And I wish that people take advantage. Like you said, it's free. Free events, Eventbrite, look it up. Its information is out there. It's power. Get out from behind your computer. Go and do all the things. You don't even have to spend money on some of these things. Why don't you go out to open houses? That's how I started. I would visit them. I mean, the open house, it is open. Everyone is welcome. So why not? So what else do you do besides, networking, which is huge? And what kind of advertising do you also do to get you business and keep you top of mind?
I most definitely would say my Instagram is a magnet. I love it. It's free, doesn't cost me a thing. And you wouldn't believe the inboxes I get, or people looking for a stager and interacting, not just having people come follow you, I follow back. If you post something, I speak to you on your post. Like, you have to interact with these people and you have to be on social media. There's no ifs and ands about it, because that's where everyone is at. And you need to be there too. And it's a free marketing tool.
The thing too is with Instagram and stuff, you just need to be consistent, right? I've seen your Instagram, it's popping. I'm like, this is really good stuff. And it's not just putting out the pretty stuff. It's not just doing that. You are also engaging. You are commenting, you are following, doing all the things it's a community. When you post, do you have a call to action? Or what do you think is the magnet into your DMs?
Yeah, most of them I do have a call to action. And then I mix it up. Also, I let people see behind the scenes who I am, the funny side of me outside of the stager, keeping them laughing and get them engaged. So it's not always a call to action. Sometimes people want to feel that energy somehow, make some type of connection with you, and they remember you when that time comes up. First, I know someone who's a stager. I follow her on Instagram, and I get those calls. Well, I know someone who knows you on Instagram. and she gave me your information. Never met the person in person, you know? So that speaks volumes.
That's amazing. I'm still yet to crack the code on Instagram. Do you do your Instagram by yourself? First of all, do you have someone that helps you?
Yes, I do it myself. I wish I had someone. I did at one point, and it's so time consuming. But there's so many tools and apps out here that you can create everything you need for the next 30 days. Do it, leave it, and it posts on its own. Canva is one. And that's a big tool that I know a lot of people use. And
Yeah.
it's inexpensive or free, but it has the calendar right there where you can go ahead and set it up.
I have never explored that. The funny thing is that I'm in Canva like every day. I have received a certificate from Canva that says you've created 1,000 designs, but I have never ever used the calendar to do my posting, which is the smart thing to do, right?
It's there. Why not? Just set it up. You're going to have to use a couple of hours to get set up, but once you do it, oh, it's an easy thing.
Just like everything that you want to do, you spend that initial time, invest the time to create the thing, and then it becomes a machine that runs itself. So you've worn so many hats. What part of your journey would you say is surprising to you? Something that I never saw myself doing this, but here I am, and this is how I got here.
Oh, wow. Let me think about that. I guess I would say now I'm venturing into commercial. So I have my first two commercial contracts. One is for a mall and one is for an actual subdivision.
Congratulations, that's huge.
Thank you. I'm excited about it. I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm going to get it done. I have all my sponsors are coming out to assist me. So that's going to be a great thing. I have sponsors from movers, painters, insurance agents. They actually pay me to allow them to, speak with my realtors when I teach my classes. So they come in, they pay for food, they pay for gifts for the realtors. I have a builder that's a sponsor where I can teach my classes for free because in turn, those realtors are going to bring their homeowners to them to purchase. So that's the benefit to them.
That is very smart. Learning so much new stuff from you today. So you're doing commercial now. And that's the thing in my first episode, I think I mentioned like multiple income streams. And the thing is, people who are looking and aspiring to get into the home staging or design business, they're not even aware of all the multiple channels of opportunities that you can make a living. So there's always so many things and so many options of what you can do to make money in this industry. So you strike me as a go-getter. Do you have any projects in the works that you have, any maybe even a passion project, doesn't have to be a business, that you're working on that you would like to share?
I am putting together classes right now. So ebooks, I have some really neat classes that are going to be coming up for stagers. I'm beyond neutral, staging through a cultural lens. So I'm going to be speaking and teaching about diversity and how we can stage on a wider audience. Everyone doesn't want beige and brown and black. From Spanish art to Persian rugs, you name it. We need to be able to stage where people go into these homes and they can really see themselves living in those homes because there's some reflection of themselves there. Whether it's a piece of African artwork, you don't have to overload it, but it's be nice to see little hints here and there. Diversity is huge, and including people is a must. We're in the people business.
I like the way you talked about that, though, because we know that in staging, I am very guilty of this. We go like vanilla because we want to catch the universal appeal. But then a lot can get lost in translation. The way that I respond to that is that speaking to the true style of the home, It brings something, not an overload. Like you said, I've walked into a house that was staged before, and it was like we had been called to stage that house. And then somebody else ended up staging it, and they called us back to restage it. I walked in, and our clients are always shopping. They know what's up. They know what's the trend. They know where you got what from. I walked into this living room, and it looked like Target and IKEA had a baby and abandoned it in the house. You could tell that everything this was from Target. That time when they had the terracotta and everything, it was just everything they bought from there and planted in the house. Like, don't ever do that. I buy stuff from Target, I buy stuff from IKEA, but it's not going to be like an overload of the same thing concentrated in one room. So that's what you're talking about. Like, bring influences of culture. If you know the culture of the area, the demographics of the people that you're staging, we're not going to overload it or make it completely one thing, because again, it still needs to be somewhat universal. Everyone that walks in should feel at home. What else can you speak to when it comes to being culturally aware? The Seattle area, for example, is a melting pot of diversity. We have a lot of cultures here. So apart from the aesthetics, what other things do you consider?
I think it's one thing to take a class for diversity, but when you live it, it speaks volumes into your designs. Knowing what you're putting into the homes, what background this comes from, telling a story is a big thing for me. So interacting with other people from other cultures. I mean, how are you going to emulate something and you don't know about it?
When you now start thinking about diversity and pandering to different cultures, it's so big and so wide and so deep when we're talking about so many different cultures. How do you streamline that? Because, for example, if you had in a place, you could have like diverse ethnicities and cultures coming together. How do you narrow it down, but not too narrow that you're targeting one set of people?
Yeah, it might be a lamp that's from India. I stage around that lamp. When I'm sourcing my product, that lamp gave me my inspiration. So I'm adding other elements to tell my story in that particular house. The next house might be an African statue, and then I'm going to pair it with the art on the wall or a rug, and some pillows in the bedroom, little hints of that throughout. So it's one thing that I get my inspiration from, and I build from that.
You focus on one thing, like, oh, this thing, and then you build so much around that one thing to make it all come alive. So what is your philosophy when it comes to design? I know that you are also big on design for well-being. How do you incorporate design into well-being?
Most definitely plants. I'm big on plants, linen, cotton, natural fabric, silk, things of that nature. I love that. Scents as well. That's big. Certain fabrics, let off a certain smell. So it's basically bringing the outside inside. The plants might not necessarily be live plants, but you created that illusion. A lot of times we're living in some of these suburbs that the trees are gone. So implementing that into the staging, I'm telling you, it makes a big difference. Setting up a yoga room. A lot of people are working from home now. They can't get out and get to the gym. So creating that little room that everybody's wondering, what am I going to do in this room? That's an easy solution. Create spaces that make sense to people. Getting creative, doing your research. How can I bring more of a positive energy in here? Sometimes you're in a home that might be stuck with energy. It's heavy. So lighting that up,
Yes, we bring plants that are not living plants, but it still gives you that illusion and you still connect because you see green, and that's what it's all about. So apart from greenery, what is one design element?
Every home should have great lighting.
Why?
is everything. Light is life.
Yes. And what is your favorite kind of light to stage with? Because I know this can be controversial too, because I am always thinking about, okay, when I'm staging versus if I'm doing like a design work or even in my house, I like warm lighting at home. But when I'm staging, I like cool because it's all about the show. And the cool lighting that mimics daylight. Because I
Yes.
think about when you go to the store, how they light everything up that you can see every detail. And that's the kind of lighting that I like to stage with because I liken a house to like a product that we're selling. And we just need to make it shine bright. So how do you vary lighting? There's highlights, low lights. How do you bring your listings to life with lighting?
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with you with the cool lighting. I truly believe you should have everything lined up the same. There should not be in one room a different type of light bulb across the line. All the light bulbs should be the same, and all the fixtures, the lamps, the whole 9 yards.
I love all the tips that you're giving. Do you have any final words for anyone who is wanting to go into this crazy industry? It's this roller coaster that we're all standing in line trying to get into, but the rewards are plenty. So what words of advice do you have for anyone being like, is this for me? What questions should they be asking themselves to truly, truly be ready to get into this?
Start small, build yourself up, budget, know your industry, most definitely get certified. That education component is important. Join an association like RISA, having that support of other women and men who are in this industry that can answer those hard questions you may have along the way is very important. And being realistic. Everyone isn't doing luxury staging. I believe all homes deserve to be staged at any level.
I like that. So this has been enlightening. It's been nice just getting to know you a little bit more.
It does get daunting. It gets, stressful. And we need to be able to chill out, have a good time, and enjoy ourselves.
You just have to snatch those moments for yourself because we work so hard. Thank you so much. You've been listening to the Creative Business Mindset podcast. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. Thank you for listening and keep doing all the things. Until next time.